Great segments for you guys. We talked a little bit about former Mayor Ben Gumatautau punching former Mayor Nito Blas. We'll play that and go down memory lane later on the show. First, let's get right into the Zoom room where Dave Dell'Isola, Labor Director, is standing by. Good morning, Dave. Thanks for hanging on.
No problem. Nice to be here. Thank you, Chris.
Let's just go ahead and start with I saw you guys had come out with a release explaining how to claim the exemption for the PUA on the taxes, right?
Yeah. It was something that, in cooperation with Daphne over at DRT, that I've been getting inundated with calls on our 311 system about that, even though it's not really a DOL issue. It's, filing your income tax, revenue tax. But I thought it would be a good public service if I pretty much took Daphne's release and, you know, did it, re-script it and put a little bit more details and kind of release it out again. And not only in the newspapers, but every claimant, when they go on to Hire Guam and log in, they're going to have a banner on top that with a link that will explain, that they can click and explain basically how to get this tax exclusion, file for it. And we will send an email blast also to all claimants. That's already in the in the works at with our system provider.
Were you getting a lot of calls about it? Is that why you kind of put this out?
Yes. I mean, it's not no secret how hard it is to get through 311, and so I'm trying to keep it to claimants with real issues that so that we can help them fix or correct their issues or answer their questions about PUA. But the tax exemption is exactly what it is. It's an income tax issue, and it's not our purview.
Right.
But in order to save that, like I said, to give it a lot of headaches, we went ahead and gave some details because I think it's good. It's good for the island to know, we got, close to 30,000 claimants, how to file. So, the two scenarios are if you haven't filed already, then when you do your 1040 easy or whatever form you're going to do, your regular 1040, you would get a Schedule 1 form and basically follow the guidance. You would put the total PUA amount that you got on your 1099 into the line 7 on your Schedule 1, and then you would follow the instructions, and it'll allow you to put in the 10,200 and subtract it from your total PUA amount, and then take that amount and add that to whatever other income you have to get a new, taxable amount, which would be much lower, and so that you would save taxes or you would get a refund, one or the other. And then the other way that is there's a lot of people that filed early because they were hoping to get the stimulus and they wanted to get their income tax early. So if they filed a 2020 income tax, then you simply print out, go to online or go down to revenue tax and get a 1040X. And that helps you file an amended return. And you just fill that out and you put in the 10,200 exclusion, and you would get that new adjusted gross income. And then from there, you would ordinarily look at your new tax, and you should, if you paid, you should have a small credit. You attach that with your old tax that you filed already, and you refile that, and that'll be a new amended return. And it's pretty straightforward. The instructions are pretty clear. There shouldn't be any more questions. If you do, just look it up. There's plenty of things on Google on how to take this exclusion, because it's not only for Guam, but it went out, nationwide.
Yeah, I was getting a lot of questions about that filing for that exemption. We got a comment here, Dave. For PUA round 2, 3, if full-time job was furloughed or laid off, however, individual got a part-time job for the time being, are they still eligible for PUA? If so, is there a cap on the hours eligible for part-time per week or per pay period?
Okay. The best, I'll just answer generally, but I don't like answering, subjective questions because they usually don't include all the facts, and they think that basically, if you are a full-time employee and you have a part-time job, then you're working reduced hours, and yes, you would be qualified. If you had a full-time job and you got another full-time job at a lower income, you still are full-time and you would not be qualified. It's not necessarily based on dollar amount, it's based on hours worked. If you're working a 10-hour job and you got laid off and you got another 10-hour job, then you are not reduced in hours or affected. You would be back to your regular hours, and you would not qualify. But like I said, if you were 20 hours and you got a new 10-hour job, then you would qualify.
What are you making, Dave, of these like private sector grumblings about, they need workers, but maybe people aren't applying for jobs because they're on that PUA? Is this pretty real?
We started to hear some of these noise, and it's a natural, unfortunately, that some of these entry-level jobs that are opening up pay less than probably what they're getting for PUA. And when you start weighing it out, or do I stay home and and wait and still collect a nice PUA check, or do I go out and get that job that I'll make less? And it's inherent that it's going to happen. I'm not going to say that it's not. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. But my advice is to these people that September is around the corner, and if you wait till September when PUA runs out, then you and thousands of others are going to be going after that same job, and then you're not going to have any money. And so don't be short-sighted. Look at the long-term benefits, and you should start that job. If you don't mind, I had an interesting meeting yesterday with GCC Mary Okada and her staff, and we started to lay out what she's going to be offering this summer moving forward as far as training and job opportunities. So that's what we're working on very aggressively now with our service providers, to find out what training opportunities are there going to be for those unemployed who want to get a career change. So, there's heavy equipment operating, there's certified nursing assistants, there's medical code and billing, there's a whole myriad. There'll be some ship repair, HVAC, there will be construction, there will be a whole myriad. We're just trying to work out a timetable and class size and dollar amounts, and I'll be doing that with several other service providers so that I can basically come out to the island and say, here are all these certified job like boot camps or certification that you can go into, and some will lead right into a job. Some will lead right into a job and apprenticeship. Some will just lead into a certificate where you should be able to take that to any company very easily and get a job. And these are in a new career path. So we're starting to lay out the framework for all these training programs that hopefully will be coming up this summer or even sooner for these unemployed to take advantage. They're going to be limited in size. You know, typically these things are averaging around 20 people a class size because they move very quickly and they're very short in duration. And you know, that's something that we are working very vigorously to help before September comes. And the good thing is for those who go into these training classes can be exempt from the job search when we implement that, probably sometime latter part of May.
Dave, we had another comment here. Are we still eligible if we made less than $10,000? Do we still have to do an amendment?
You don't have to do an amendment, period. That's just something that's there as your option. So if you calculate it, and some people, you know, if you made PUA only and didn't get a full round of PUA and you did your standard deduction, you would fall under the amount that you pay taxes on. So if you didn't pay any taxes, then you don't have to do anything. But a lot of times, and like I said, I'm not a tax guy, and I shouldn't be giving tax advice. But, you know, I like to put my foot in everything. Run the numbers at least and see whether or not you get a savings, because you could save yourself a couple hundred, you know, dollars, and you decide whether or not you want to take it or not. So this is a savings on average. So you don't have to file something that's a savings.
Dave, what about fraud? I saw that the AG had come down with some stuff, a couple more cases of PUA fraud.
Yeah, well, you know, this is, as I told you before, this isn't the last case, and neither will this case be the last case. We continue to, you know, audit. We continue to identify fraud, not only off island, but locally. And those that we identify, we forward to either the AG's office or the FBI, and they decide if they're going to move forward after doing their investigations. And this particular one was one case that was forwarded to the Attorney General, and they decided to move forward. And I don't want to comment on anything that's so early in the investigation, other than, of course, we're fully cooperating with the AG's office, and you know, as far as information, and we'll let them take it to wherever direction it goes.
Dave, how do you determine which cases you refer to the AG's office and which, or I mean, the feds just pick up the stuff, or like, how do you decide?
So, you know, it's not rocket science. It's usually how egregious the claimant is doing, whether they're using false information, doctored documents, using, you know, non-existent claimants, you know. So there are a number of things, and of course, you know, another big factor is if they got paid out or not, depending. But you know, it all depends on the severity of the action of the claimant when they filed, and we basically put together a laundry list and we go over it with the appropriate authorities, and then they decide which ones are the ones worth pursuing.
Is there a charge for the training courses you were talking about, Dave? And how do people get on them?
So when we start releasing it, so the NDWG grant that we got, the dislocated worker grant, we have probably about 4 million. That will help pay for those who were unemployed because of COVID. So those who are basically on my PUA program who are unemployed, you know, a lot of them in the hospitality industry or the hotel industry or whatever, and they know that they're not going to be going back to work anytime soon, and they are tired of that industry or any industry, and they just want to get a change. They just want to go something that is new and different and in demand, and maybe it's not so volatile as far as hiring. Then they would go down to the AJC, basically fill out their forms and qualify for those funds, and we pay for that. So this is, that's why I said I don't have unlimited funding for this. So the early bird gets the worm, and sooner you apply, when we come out with these laundry lists of trainings that'll be out there, which are limited, then, so now's the time to start calling up and getting an appointment and at least getting qualified for assistance. And then any of those trainings that come up, once if you're already qualified, then we will pay for you to get retrained or reskilled in a new occupation or career. And this is a huge opportunity for you because some of these courses cost thousands of dollars. And so I'm just trying to tell you, I don't have unlimited funding. So get down to the AJC, fill out those forms, get qualified for the funding, and then you can, pick and choose what kind of field that comes up. So if you're interested in HVAC, then basically we can put you on the list for, for that class. And if you wanted to become a home care, home care person, that is a huge demand right now. And especially with COVID, they need home care assistance, people going to the homes and assisting people who are, disabled. And that will be going out. There'll be CNA, which is Certified Nursing Assistants. We'll have several service providers offering courses in that. And some offer it in the evening, some offer it in days, some offer it in different times. So you can pick that kind of, you can just go right into it without having to wait to get qualified. So, I want to get everybody started now and not wait till September because, I can just see you come September saying, hey, Dave, there's a long line. People can't get in and get qualified. And, we're not set up to deal with thousands of people coming down, and nor am I going to prepare and spend all that money for an event that's going to be short in duration, that's going to happen and then go away, and then I'm stuck with all these extra employees. So I'm trying to get these unemployed to come down and start hitting us now, get prepared. That doesn't mean that you have to basically, get something right away, but you at least lay the foundation so that when, if you see a class that may not be offering for another 2 months, you can go ahead and say, that's the class, get on that list and get in there. Because remember, just because there's a class doesn't mean you're going to get in there. They're going to, a lot of these classes are tied to employers. Right. That's the good thing about some of these classes. And some of them have an interview process by the employer that says, okay, you look like you got all the workings for a good employee. Once you finish this class, you can, we select you. Some of these courses are just a certification class. So all you need to do is have interest. Then you can just go in there. So, like I said, once they're full, they're full. And, because of COVID, class sizes are not as large as they normally are. Yeah. So once they're filled up, you're going to have to wait again. And like I said, there's only so many service providers that are going to only be able to offer so many classes. And we have this many people that are not working. There's just not enough supply for the demand.
Right. So Dave, when it starts to get closer to when this is coming out, let us know and we'll put the word out for you. Last question here. When's the next batch coming out?
It's every 2 weeks. So this coming Tuesday will be the next batch.
Okay. Well, Dave, thanks for your time again. And yeah, let's partner up, man, with those programs, those trainings start to become, well, before they could become available. Come on and we'll get out the process to everyone.
Sure. And I appreciate you putting the word out to the public. And like I say, again to you, please go down to the AJC, get registered, get qualified, and then you can, once these classes come out, all you have to do is either select them and not wait to get qualified and then go in there. They're going to fill up fast. So do your due diligence. Go down and make an appointment to see one of our case managers and get qualified, and let them know what your interests are so that they know when these classes come up that they can start pre-selecting you.
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you, Chris. I appreciate you giving me some minutes to tell the public.
Always, anytime. We can do it tomorrow if you want. Let me know. There you go. Dave Dell'Isola, Labor Director. Guys, we'll take a quick break and come back with Speaker Therese Terlahi next, right here on the link, which is brought to you by East West Rental. You need a mixer, a ditch digger, what you need, they got it at East West Rental. Also, carry